Last time they played in the Premier League, De Gea in goal, Dalot, Varane, Martinez and Malacia, McTominay and Eriksen, then Antony on the right, Sancho on the left, Fernandes behind Marcus Rashford. So it is Manchester City unbeaten in 19 Premier League matches. That's half a season's worth. And Manchester United come here having won their last 4 after their nightmare start to the season. Manchester United, who've beaten Liverpool and Arsenal already this season. But today it's the derby, and Manchester United come here to the home of the Premier League champions, Manchester City. Michael Oliver is the referee, all in black in the centre circle, pacing around, blowing his whistle, and Manchester United get us underway. Immediately a cascade of boos coming down from the stands from the home supporters, with United in possession. And United, red shirts, black shorts, black socks today. A long pass hit forward by Martinez, that's over the top of Sancho and bounces out of play for a throw-in to City, and Kyle Walker will take this, having been involved with England but having missed the last 3 Manchester City games. So no Ronaldo in the starting lineup for Manchester United. Martial is on the bench, he's coming back from injury, and Casemiro there again. Quite a lot of talk this week about whether Casemiro was the man for this particular job, but Jonathan Woodgate, he's stuck with Eriksen and McTominay in there.
He has, and fair play to do that, because you'd have thought that Casemiro would have gone straight into the team, even when he first came over. He hasn't done that. He stayed with McTominay in the centre of the pitch with Eriksen just slightly advanced of him. So Casemiro needs to win his place.
Haaland involved for the first time, and Varane went with him into the opposition half there and fouled him, brought him down. Free kick to Manchester City.
I think that's how they have to be with him all game. They have to be aggressive, and they can't let Haaland play on his own terms and dominate. They can't let him bully them. But you saw there with Varane really on the front foot, pressing in with Haaland. You can guarantee Martinez does it exactly the same as well.
And there now Haaland picks himself up quickly and trots away downfield and takes up a position in between the 2 Manchester United central defenders, Varane and Martinez. Now City away down the left-hand side, and Grealish is sent flying by that challenge out there on the left. It's a free kick to Manchester City, and there were cheers there. Was that a yellow card, Michael Oliver, shown already?
Yeah, it's a yellow card to Dalot.
Well, he's wasted no time with that one.
It's a stupid yellow card, but now there's nothing worse as a defender when they get booked early. Absolutely nothing at all. It has to be a yellow card.
That's come in the first 2 minutes. So the Manchester United right back is yellow carded already on a bouquet. Free kick. De Bruyne will take this. It's a very high one towards the back post. Ake with a header goalwards, but it just loops and is easily caught by David De Gea, just taking 2 or 3 paces outside his 6-yard box. Manchester City 0, Manchester United 0. Here's Rashford, fit again to continue in the Manchester United Premier League starting lineup, playing the ball out towards the right-hand side. Here's Antony. His only Premier League appearance so far was that match against Arsenal. It's his 4th game in all competitions, but of course he scored on his debut in that win 28 days ago. Here's Haaland playing it to the left-hand side. Grealish, who had already scored by this time in Manchester City's last game, gives it to Bernardo Silva, to the back post. Haaland heads it across, half cleared. De Bruyne shoots, that's blocked. Then the follow-up from Bernardo Silva is blocked as well. And Manchester United somehow have survived.
Brilliant defending, but you can guarantee that's what Haaland's going to do. He's going to pull off onto Martinez. It's in that channel, and Malacia, he can get into that area, and the ball's dinked to the back post, he'll score.
Well, there were 3 chances in one movement there, and somehow De Gea played a part. There was a defender in the 6-yard box.
Brilliant defending.
They got it away. They kept it out, absolutely crucially for Manchester United, and City so close to making the breakthrough. Haaland was towering at the back post to win that header. Here's Foden now cutting into the area. De Bruyne on the right-hand side, pulls it across. It's gone a long way, and it's cleared away by McTominay near the penalty spot. City come again. Strong start from Pep Guardiola's team, standing with his hands on his hips, just a few yards away from Erik ten Hag. They worked together at Bayern Munich, remember, when Ten Hag was in charge of the Bayern Munich second team, and now on opposing sides of Manchester. Here's Ake, who's come into the team. It's his first start in the Premier League since the Newcastle match, that dramatic Sunday afternoon Newcastle match, the 3-3 draw. Plays it across to Akanji. with both Diaz and Laporte on the substitutes bench for Manchester City today. City, Sky Blue dominating the early stages, 0-0. And Akanji plays it across to Nathan Ake, who crosses the halfway line and then gives it to his left-hand side to Cancelo. He has Grealish out there on the far side. Couldn't play for England on Monday night because he was suspended, so had to sit and watch. But starting the match and already to good effect winning that free kick, and which cost Dalot the yellow card.
Man City are really stretching the play. Grealish so high and wide, Foden high and wide, and De Bruyne just playing in the 8/10 role, but he's occupying the full-back Malacia, so Foden can be free.
That's Jonathan Woodgate with us for the commentary, the England international. We'll hear more from Izzy Christiansen and Neda Manuha later, and we've heard, of course, already from Peter Schmeichel. So entertainingly, ball played over the top for City. That's headed away on the edge of the box by Varane. United played up towards Fernandes. Fernandes booed. That shows you that there is some respect for Fernandes, because opposition teams always boo the player that they fear might cause them damage. Now the ball played forward towards De Bruyne. De Bruyne playing it down the left-hand side for Bernardo Silva. Haaland making ground through the middle. Bernardo Silva looks up, cuts it back onto his right foot, uses his left though to give it to Grealish. Grealish in the box, little shuffle, given back to him by Haaland, but he couldn't get there, Grealish. It was slightly overhit by Haaland. Otherwise Grealish would have been into the byline, but it's through for a goal kick.
You know where Haaland's run's going straight away. You know he's just going to go onto the back post. Every single time, you can guarantee, John, that he will receive it on them areas.
It's a smashing save. That chance where City had the string of opportunities, it was blocked immediately by McTominay. De Bruyne's shot was saved by De Gea on the line, and then there was another effort, wasn't there, that was cleared away by a Manchester United player in the 6-yard box. But an important save by De Gea. United were lucky there in that it was more or less straight at him.
Yeah, it hit him, but that's what they're going to have to do for this game if they want to survive.
Manchester City 0, Manchester United 0.
So you vote of confidence for Akanji playing, considering Diaz is on the bench. In my opinion, a world-class centre-back. Be interested to see how him and Ake got on today.
Yeah, it looks like a shrewd signing, that, doesn't it? Player of his standing. That's given away, but it's won back by Akanji, who we're just talking about, the former Borussia Dortmund man. 4 starts in a row now for Manchester City, and he's continued his run. De Bruyne gives him it back. Now Foden on the right-hand side. Foden just coming in field in that lazy way of his, chest puffed out. Back it goes to the bearded Gundogan. Now Cancelo, this could be dangerous, edge of the Manchester United box. It's pulled across by Bernardo Silva, and Foden there whips in the goal, high into the net. Left foot, first time finish, bang, past De Gea. Manchester City 1, Manchester United 0. It's taken them 8 minutes to take the lead.
It's a lovely finish. He just strokes it into the back of the net. But you said it in commentary there, John, he just glided in from the left-hand side, off the flank, and he carries on his run into the box. But it's a beautiful finish. Bernardo Silva puts it on a plate, but he just guides it into the back of the net. De Gea stood no chance and didn't even move.
Super finish. Just wrapped his foot around it. Excellent ball in, picked out Foden. What was he, 7-8 yards out perhaps?
There's no one near him as well. There's no one within 2 metres of him.
And the shot sort of came round the side of Varane. That, I think, even if Varane hadn't been there, I'm not sure De Gea would have got anywhere near.
De Gea wouldn't have saved that. No chance.
Manchester City already in front. Did the double over Manchester United last season. I mean, United have got a decent recent record here. They've actually won 4 of their last 6 matches here in all competitions against Manchester City. But last season, pre-Ten Hag, it has to be said, under Solskjaer and Rangnick, they took some serious damage against Manchester City, both in terms of the scorelines, but I think mentally as well, and many of these players were involved in those games.
They were brilliant performances. They were absolutely fantastic performances.
And the Grand Prix has now begun. So the lights are off, the Grand Prix begins over in Singapore, and you can hear the commentary on Sports Extra, but we will keep you up to date with what's happening during the course of the race. I'm telling you that as much as a warning as anything else. Here's Bruno Fernandes, centrally. Bruno Fernandes trying to play it forward, but that's beyond Rashford's run, and Akanji was able to get there comfortably, and then it's flicked.
Akanji was sharp there.
Yeah, very flicked, very casually by Ederson, casually in a good way, looking confident, sprays the ball to Grealish, who's beaten, actually, after he initially headed it up, and then there's a tug on Anthony, but he's run the ball out of play already, and it's a throw-in to Manchester City. So 1-0. Question is, has that set the tone for the afternoon?
Yeah, Man City have been terrific, absolutely terrific. The movement from the wide players, from De Bruyne, Haaland coming short. It's got to be difficult to play against for Man United.
Manchester City have won all of their matches here at the Etihad Stadium so far this season, as Sancho tries to take it through the middle, but that's blocked away. Haaland wins the challenge, huge cheers, comes back down into the City left-back area. That's a poor clearance by Cancelo, and now Bruno Fernandes pulls the ball across, hits a defender, actually hit Gundogan on the edge of the box, and City were able to clear, but Sancho's after this. But it's brilliant from Foden, absolutely superb on the edge of his own penalty area against his England teammate Sancho, pulled it down, took it away from Sancho, actually came into trouble centrally, but there was no trouble there for Foden.
It was his body. You see Foden as slight and really slim, but he's got a strong core. He couldn't get pushed off the ball there, but it's the way he moves his body. What a fantastic talent. England should build a team around him. Yeah, he's that good.
I think he's, judging by the teams that Gareth Southgate picked against Italy and Germany, Foden was in both of them. Yeah, he has
to be, John.
He's in the starting lineup, I'm sure, for that first game against Iran, as long as he stays fit. That's the important thing for all of the international players over this busy period. City win a free kick over on the left-hand side. Grealish. Is that Dalot again with a challenge on him? So it's a free kick out on the left-hand side. He has got to be careful. Just a little foul this time. But City with a set piece. You know what that means. De Bruyne's straight out there. Foden's gone out there with him as well, so it could be Foden, but you'd think it would be whipped in by De Bruyne. So United have got to stand up strong to this. Go 2-0 down now. Even though there are only 11 minutes on the clock here, that would be ominous. It is Foden who's going to take it, so it's a deep one to the back post. It rattles around after bouncing down. There were a couple of players at the back post. Ake was in for it.
That's one thing.
They're clear.
That's one thing as well with Ake playing. He's terrific attacking crosses. Strong centre back. It's a talent to be good in both boxes, and Ake's good at that. And
2 boosts for Luke Shaw, who's sent away down the touchline to warm up, which is interesting in itself. So is Malacia okay? If Luke Shaw's coming out to warm up, so he's booed. He scored here when United last won, season before last. Bruno Fernandes plays the ball downfield. Rashford's on the chase, but Ederson's out of his penalty area by probably 10 yards to get there first and clear it out near the halfway line.
He did so well, doesn't he? But you watch Rashford, he just come back from a hamstring injury. I know if that was me. He's at full tilt there, Rashford. He's got to be slightly nervous.
Yeah, you're suffering from a calf injury at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah. Not ideal, John, not ideal, especially when I have to walk to the game.
Yes, the injuries don't stop when retirement comes. Here's Eriksen, halfway inside his own half. Malacia on the left-hand side. He is okay, isn't he, Malacia?
Yeah, he looks fine. Yeah. He looks absolutely fine.
He's out for a throw-in near the halfway line. City 1, Manchester United 0. Phil Foden having scored his 4th goal for Manchester City this season just now, so that's 2-2 because he did score the late one, the 3rd one against Wolves last time Manchester City played before the internationals. In good form. Thought he did lots of good things in flashes as well in the England games, Foden. But here is Varane, who turns and plays it back across the back line to Martinez. And then Martinez to Malacia. Oh, he miscontrols it and runs away from an out of play. United don't need that. So 1-0 Manchester City lead. Let's get a first update from the Grand Prix since it began. Jack Nicholls.
Got to the inside of Charles Leclerc into turn 1, and the Red Bull man leads the way. Leclerc is second. Sainz got ahead of Hamilton, so Hamilton's down to 4th. Max Verstappen got a terrible start. Started 8th, dropped all the way down to 13th. He's now back up into 10th place, but Perez leads.
Thank you, Jack. Commentary continues, as you just heard there on Sports Extra. So, Manchester City, 1-0 up. Sun comes out brightly again on this October Sunday afternoon. Ball back towards Bernardo Silva, who turns. He's got another assist for himself today, Bernardo Silva, with that lovely ball across into the path of Foden. And then Cancelo looked as though he might have been shrugged off the ball, might have been a free kick. Referee Oliver said no. City come again, ball played forward, that's come off the foot of McTominay, and it's cleared away by Dalot towards the halfway line, where United are in possession. Long ball hit forward, it's gone through Walker, and it's reached Sancho, left side of the penalty area. Sancho, little ball across, Eriksen was arriving, but it was sort of under his feet, and he got contact on it and directed it goalwards, but it was an easy pick-up for Ederson.
It was the weight of the pass, I thought, there from Sancho, because Eriksen was coming onto the ball quick, so the ball needs to be slower into his feet. Too fast to pass.
Manchester United looking to play it on the counter-attack, as we'd expect, against Manchester City, who have already dominated possession, dominated the match. And here is Nathan Ake, who receives it from Ederson, his 6th start in all competitions. And now Akanji will walk the ball away from his penalty area. And City just having a little breather here. We see them do this, don't we? This is typical of Guardiola's side. 15 minutes on the clock, making a strong start. They've got the early goal, and are just for a little moment here, just playing within themselves and knocking it around inside their own half.
They just dictate the tempo, don't they, of the game at any moment.
And then Ederson hits one of those passes downfield. Foden pulled it down. That looked like a handball by Malacia, who swept it away, the bouncing ball, and it's not been given. Whether the officials saw that or considered... Oh, ball is played back by Akanji. Ederson's going to struggle to get there, which he has on the slide. But Rashford is onto this, but then Akanji recovers well and is able to go hip to hip with Rashford, who goes down. And Manchester City and Akanji bring it away.
That was a slight scare for Man City. Ederson and Akanji, slight misunderstanding.
Meanwhile, at the other end, what about that from Malacia? That looked like a handball.
Yeah, I thought it was a definite. I can't believe they haven't brought it back.
Yeah, I'm surprised that. It was just outside the penalty area. But even if the feeling was that it was in his natural motion, I have to say, that looked deliberate to me. But here's Grealish outside the box. Little ball in, Haaland back to Grealish. Then Grealish is fouled by Martinez. He's upended on the edge of the D. That was Grealish and Haaland working together brilliantly, and it's drawn the free kick in such a dangerous place.
The link-up play between Haaland and Grealish, when he comes off his left flank, similar to Foden when he comes inside, good 1-2 with Haaland. It's difficult to stop Jack Grealish when he's like that, when he's running with the ball. Same with Foden. They seem to have a good understanding on the pitch and off the pitch.
So it's a free kick in a brilliant position. I don't know whether Pep Guardiola caught your eye there. Immediately after that, he was all left, right, this, that. He's got a baggy pair of trousers on. He looked like MC Hammer. It's a free kick City have got, and this is a very, very good position. I mean, this could be, you name it. De Bruyne's there, Gundogan's there.
Cancelo
is lurking 5 or 6 yards back behind the ball.
John Ederson could probably take it and probably score. They're that good.
Well, United have put up a 5-man wall. Also, Bruno Fernandes is standing just to the left of it as we look. There's a man lying down behind it. Gundogan and De Bruyne are in discussions. Well, they're making it look like it's going to be Kevin De Bruyne. City lead 1-0. De Bruyne takes steps back. It's going to be Gundogan, and it hits the outside of the post and goes wide.
Take your pick. I thought that was destined for the top corner.
De Gea had that look, didn't he, of a goalkeeper that has been beaten by a free kick.
He just thought his net was going to rustle.
But they got away with it. It actually hit a good half of the post. So that was half a post width away from 2-0. So the chances are stacking up, and they're all Manchester City's. And here they've won the ball back from Jadon Sancho. It was Bernardo Silva on the halfway line. Lovely turn from Bernardo Silva. Classic Bernardo Silva. That's so strong and wiry, isn't he, the little Portuguese. De Bruyne now down the right-hand side for Foden, the goal scorer. Foden has been leaned into by Malacia, uses Bernardo Silva behind him. City in this first half as we look, playing from left to right. And now back to the halfway line to Ake. City have got all of the ball.
They're still in third gear though, John. They're still in third gear. There's some team to watch.
High ball to Foden, who backs right away off the pitch actually, but chests it down, gives it to De Bruyne. De Bruyne's ball across, that's cleared away on the corner of the 6-yard box by Martinez, but they haven't got it completely away. They do now with McTominay up towards Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes looks up, trying to find Rashford with the pass, but there's one red shirt there and there are 3 in sky blue. United come again through the middle. Rashford turns it infield, but that's tidied up by Bernardo Silva, and Grealish plays it back to Ederson.
United can't keep the ball. Manchester City are just too much.
They're toying with them.
Yeah, they are. That's exactly what it is. They're just absolutely toying with them. United have to do better in possession, because Man City will just keep it all day.
Phil Foden, the goal scorer, in the 8th minute. Guardiola's not happy about something. I think it's the way Akanji's brought it out from the back. Don't know whether he wants a little bit more in terms of whether they just flick that switch again. Gundogan now turns, faces the play, gives it to Grealish on the left-hand side, who's running from a deeper position out on the left in towards Bernardo Silva, who's done well to work it across. Bounces to Foden, control! Oh, shoots wide. Again, that was so close to another Manchester City goal, but it flashed narrowly wide.
It's Grealish again. He's just keeping his width, and when he keeps his width, it stretches the Manchester United back four. And Foden should score. Foden should score. It's a great chance, and you can see Pep Guardiola heading his hands, but it was an opportunity again.
Brilliant from Bernardo Silva this time, that run to the dead ball line, cut it back from there.
De Bruyne had just done it a couple of phases before. They seem to get into the end zones really well.
This is ominous for Manchester United. The way that the game's gone, 20 minutes played now, 21 minutes played, first quarter of the match, it's 1-0, could be several more, and if it carries on in this vein, then it's just the feeling, City need one more break for a second goal, and I think that will be exceptionally difficult for United.
This is supposed to be a derby game. This is supposed to be a derby game, right? Man United haven't laid a glove on Man City. No aggression. It's just...
And Guardiola is not happy. He's just turned and shouted. I could actually hear it through our effects microphone. I could hear his voice shouting in anguish and disgust that his team have not done what he wanted them to do.
He wants perfection.
Yeah. They're off in the Champions League this week again. FC Copenhagen come here, the 2 middle matches against FC Copenhagen. Manchester United go to Neil Lennon's team, Ammonia, in Cyprus. They're there on Thursday night. But it's all eyes on the Premier League here, and it's Manchester City's match to win. That's how it looks at the moment. They're playing so well, dominating their City rivals. Martinez chipping the ball towards the far side. And actually, again, it's as we were talking before the match. We're talking about De Bruyne, Foden, Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, Grealish. Not mention Haaland very much at all. Oh, they've given it away, United, to Grealish, and Grealish drifts into the penalty area, and he's still going, but then he overruns it, and Martinez is able to clear it away. That was Aston Villa Grealish.
That's what you want to see, Grealish. He started the game really well. He's playing well. He looks like he's playing with confidence at the minute, but look at another pass by a United player.
They've given it away again. Malacia's caught Foden as he was taking it on. That's going to be a yellow card for the other fullback. Yellow for Malacia in his first Manchester derby. Free kick, Manchester City.
With the ball, Man United have been terrible. They've given it away nearly every single time. That's both fullbacks now on yellow cards. It's not easy when you're a fullback now up against Foden and Grealish and Haaland, De Bruyne when you're on a yellow card.
Well, City continuing to dominate, and it feels like Manchester United are actually getting worse in the match, because mistakes are now being made. It feels like City are affecting Manchester United. De Bruyne plays it into the edge of the area. That's headed away by Martinez. And now up towards Sancho. United need a break. They need to find something from somewhere in this match, or it's only going one way. Sancho has to go back into his own half. McTominay looks up, long pass from him out towards, looking for Anthony, who's been a peripheral figure, barely mentioned him. And City have got the ball back with Ederson, their goalkeeper.
How easy did they make it look, Man City? Like a little header down there. He wasn't heading it into Rose, he headed it to his own teammate. But they just make the game look so easy.
This is the Premier League on 5 Live. The Singapore Grand Prix continues on Sports Extra, and the Pakistan-England T20 decider will start online via the BBC Sport website and app. Here, Manchester City come again with Akanji, stretching his legs, taking it to the halfway line, playing a ball over the top. Walker on the chase down the right-hand side. He's got the ball under control. Back to Haaland. Haaland slips it forward. That's cut out by Martinez, who went to ground. And with that clearance, he's found a teammate in Sancho. United played forward to Bruno Fernandes, who chests it down. Eriksen goes for the option of Anthony. And United with Eriksen. They need United to try and get Eriksen into the game, someone who's comfortable on the ball. And now McTominay just in front of his penalty area. Varane goes back to De Gea, who's been beaten once, but he's made one decent save. De Gea, he's seen Gundogan hit his post with a free kick. He's seen Foden flash another one just past the top corner. De Gea playing it out from the back towards Malacia. Nice touch over his own head and away from Walker, but Walker recovers, puts in the challenge, goes in, just eases him over.
It's a beautiful touch.
Free kick, United. Lovely touch from Malacia. And United will take anything at the moment in this match. And Eriksen hits the ball cross-field. That's easily cut out by Cancelo. And now they've got Grealish running at them again. Cancelo into the shadows on the left-hand side. Grealish available. Cancelo goes for the ball in, but it comes off the defender and bounces all the way behind. Pick a flick off Dalot. It's a corner to Manchester City from the left.
It's every time Man City get the ball, they're patient, but then they up the tempo, and then they can do what they want. When Grealish and Foden get on that ball, they look really, really threatening for this Manchester City team.
They do, and you almost feel the expectation rising in the stadium as those blue shirts arrive in the Manchester United box. Foden and De Bruyne have gone over there to take the corner between them, and they do. They take it short. De Bruyne onto his left foot, little ball to Foden inside the area, and then Foden's cross is blocked by Bruno Fernandes, and it's out of play on the far side. A chorus of hands go up on that far side, clapping their hands, the City fans in the lower tier on the far side, that 3-tier side of the ground, as City prepared to take this throw in, level with the edge of the Manchester United box, or thereabouts. Haaland, again positioned between Varane and Martinez. And you can see very clearly there the difference in height between Haaland and the Manchester United central defender Martinez.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
It is. It really is striking. As City play the ball to Bernardo Silva on the right-hand side. Bernardo Silva back to the halfway line to Walker. And now to Ake, just inside his own half. Uses the width over there on the left-hand side of Cancelo. Then it comes back in field. And Akanji just looks up. We talked a great deal about the absence of Diaz and Laporte. Stones injured, not involved in this. But Ake and Akanji have just simply not been troubled, or barely been troubled.
Haven't got out of first gear, the pair of them, but it's some backup, that, isn't it? When you look at the 5 centre-backs that they've got. Stones, Laporte, Diaz, Akanji, Ake.
Yeah. Walker just backs away, heads the ball in field to Akanji. Akanji back to Walker on the right-hand side, just in front of where the baggy-trousered Guardiola is watching. Then Bernardo Silva goes back towards Ake, who takes that down on his left instep, looks up, takes it on 5 or 6 yards, then rolls it to his left to Cancelo. Grealish, that fairish hair all swept back and held back by the band, plays it back to Cancelo, and then Gundogan is there as well. And similarly, of course, the absent Rodri, an injury in training yesterday, Pep Guardiola said, didn't go into details, but they will need him, so they're taking no risks. That's effectively what he said. So Rodri not involved today, but Gundogan has slipped in almost like you wouldn't notice. De Bruyne now down the left-hand side. Here's Grealish again. Grealish running at Dalot, who's on the yellow card, then plays it back. De Bruyne, right foot shot, but he's got that one wrong and pulled it well wide by 4 or 5 yards for a goal kick to Manchester United, with City 1-0 up.
Yeah, you could actually see him at half-time making a change with Dalot for sure, just because he's on a yellow card, and Jack Grealish is full of confidence. He's got the bit between his teeth, you can see at the minute, and he's really getting at Dalot.
De Gea takes this goal kick. Manchester United fans trying to get some sort of chorus going over there on that far side, but heavily outnumbered. Can't see it. Barely see a spare seat inside the Etihad Stadium, of course, for this great Manchester footballing occasion. Certainly been great for Manchester City so far, even though they've scored just the one goal so far. Ball on the right-hand side. Here is Antony, the recent arrival from Ajax, Erik ten Hag's former club. McTominay goes back to the right-hand side. And it's Antony again, up against Grealish. For once, City having to defend, but Antony's ball in from the far side. He's overhit that by a distance. City cheers as it floats over the heads of everyone in the box and all the way through beyond the far post for a goal kick. So Grand Prix warning, update on the way now from Jack Nicholls.
Well, the safety car has been deployed after a crash between Nicolas Latifi and Zhou Guanyu. They are both out of the race, but the race is now about to get underway with Perez leading, Leclerc second, Sainz third, Hamilton fourth. Commentary on Sports Extra.
Yep, with Jack and the team. And Manchester City playing the ball out from the back. City leading by 1-0. Half an hour played here, 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And City leading through that early goal from Phil Foden.
The run in the midfield area. Basically, Man United.
I think they're running everywhere. Jim.
Yeah, Man United are going man to man with Man City. So you've got Eriksen on De Bruyne. You've got Fernandes on Gundogan. And you've got Bernardo Silva with McTominay.
And now Walker and Haaland combine, and Foden free running. Foden still going, shoots, bounces off Varane, bounces to Grealish. Grealish beats one man, shoots, saved by De Gea, comes out to Gundogan. Gundogan shoots. That was blocked by Eriksen. Still, City have it inside the penalty area. Grealish is being hounded by 2 United players. Gundogan then drives forward. Bernardo Silva drives forward again. He shoots. That's blocked inside the penalty area. It's a United man down. De Bruyne doesn't care, and he shoots, and it dips just over the top of the crossbar.
Again, Man United are hanging on for dear life at the minute. Man City is so much on, so on top of this game. They're streets ahead of Man United, but Man United are hanging in there. I think it was a Martinez clearance off the line and a De Gea save. They're hanging on in there.
Did you get a touch on that, De Gea? He did. Fingertips to it from the shot from Kevin De Bruyne. There's a fine save from Grealish when he cut inside. I mean, he beat Dalot so easily inside the penalty area.
That's why I see that's why there could be a change at half-time. Dalot can't get close to him.
Conscious of the fact that he got that early booking as well. So the United man is still down on the edge of the penalty area. He's lying with his lying on his back. Not sure who it is, who the United player is. Actually, is it Rashford? Yes, it is. Who's no, it's Varane. It's Varane who's leaning forward now, and I think he took one of those hits, didn't he? One of the shots that were hit, and from a series of them. I mean, that was Manchester City frenzy that we saw there. And actually, what happened was, I've just shown it on the screen. Yeah, he blocked Foden's effort with his ankle, and then I think maybe went over on it.
It was the power that just twisted his ankle slightly.
It remains 1-0, but this is not unlike the matches last season between these two sides.
The dominance in the midfield area is huge.
It is. So Varane will have to leave the field, so United have got to defend this set piece with 10 men and without one of their central defenders, Varane. So you would think that City will deliver this one into the 6-yard box or thereabouts. De Bruyne does exactly that. In it goes. Haaland with a header, that's blocked on the line. And then Bernardo Silva, no, it's been given. It was blocked from behind the line. Haaland has his goal. Off he goes, leaps away, punching the air in celebration. It's another one for Erling Haaland, but this one's in the derby match. 15 for the season. It's now 12 in the Premier League for him, and he scores in an 8th consecutive match. A brilliant clearance, but unfortunately for Manchester United, it was from behind the line, and it's 2-0 to Manchester City.
The leap and the power of Erling Haaland. He brushes Eriksen to one side, he can't deal with him, but then he's only got his eyes set on the ball. What a header. What a header.
Malacia, who was on the line, he did exceptionally well to get to it. Malacia stretching his left foot out and cleared it away, but the goal line technology told Michael Oliver that Malacia had done that from behind the line, and the replay, it's a fantastic replay, look out for it on Match of the Day tonight, of Haaland's facial expression as he is about to challenge for and head that ball in. I mean, talk about focus, determination, gritted teeth. And there was only going to be one outcome from Haaland getting to that ball. What was he, 8 yards out?
He wanted the ball. He only had eyes on that ball.
So 2-0 to Manchester City, and even though we've got 55 minutes plus left, you know, you should never count it out. You know, football surprises us all of the time, but Manchester United get anything out of this, I'll be absolutely staggered.
It could have been more than two, really. It doesn't do the scoreline justice. 2-0. Man City have been streets ahead of Man United.
And we're saying exactly the same thing in both matches, both Manchester derbies last season. And that goal timed 33 minutes. We've now got 35 on the clock. And Erik ten Hag standing down there in his black suit, slightly too short trousers, white trainers, arms folded tightly. Bad body language there.
Yeah, he doesn't look happy for some reason.
No. United with Anthony on the right hand side. Now it feels like party time now here at the Etihad. The subs come out and it's all polite applause and the sun's shining. Manchester City 2-0 up on their rivals, 2-0 going on 5, and here's Eriksen for Manchester United, and Eriksen playing it back into the centre circle.
Kyle Walker looks like he's struggling a bit.
Yeah, he's just actually had some treatment on the side of the pitch, so he stayed on the pitch, and the medical men have had a look at him. Eriksen playing the ball over the top of it. Ederson comes, makes an easy catch, and then basketball style, both hands on the ball, gives it out to Bernardo Silva. Grealish and City have it again. They've got that swagger. They've got that swagger about them. That's a bad sign for Manchester United. And now Grealish turns, and he's got space here, and that's bad news for anyone who plays against Grealish. And he gives it to De Bruyne, and De Bruyne clips it in, and Haaland is there! Left foot outstretched. He scored again. It's 3-0 to Manchester City. 2 goals in 4 minutes from the brilliant Norwegian. Super finish. He just got there on the point of the 6-yard box and directed it in with his left foot, and City are running away with it. 3-0.
Just cutting Manchester United open at will. It starts from Ederson. It starts from Ederson to Grealish, drives through the centre of the pitch to De Bruyne, and what a pass by Kevin De Bruyne. But then he goes, Haaland pulls off, goal. He is a goal machine. A goal machine.
3-0 before half-time. They've had a look at it, VAR, there's no offside there. Super pass. Too much space, I mean...
Too much space.
Give Manchester City that kind of space, and they are going to score a hatful, Jonathan.
Yeah, you could see it easily, John, here. But it boils down that midfield. They're basically man-to-man in the midfield. There's no zone in that area, the man-on-man. And that's what Man City are making look so easy.
Well, I think we'll have to get the record books out at half-time, Jonathan, if it carries on like this. I mean, the only thing that might save Manchester United in this match, the way it's gone so far, is the fact that City have got this packed schedule coming up. But this is an opportunity here for Manchester City, here at a packed Etihad Stadium, a buoyant Etihad Stadium, with Arsenal top of the league and going great guns. This is an opportunity here to really send out a message to everybody else.
There's a message already, John, being sent out. Look at the tenacity to win the ball back from all the Manchester City players. Look, Bernardo Silva.
He's in on that, on Bruno Fernandes, but he turns away from his Portuguese teammate and he shoots from distance, but it's straight at Ederson, who's able to gather the ball into his midfield. The score, Manchester City 3, Manchester United 0. and we've still got 6 minutes of the first half and added time to play. Manchester United have got Ronaldo on the bench. You know, there's such a lot of talk in the build-up to this match about whether this was the match for Casemiro. City have put the ball out of play. Because is it Walker again with a problem?
Walker.
Yeah, the ball's been put out of play, and Walker is going to sit down on the pitch, so he's going to receive some more treatment. So, you know, that's the question. Has that been an error by Erik ten Hag not to bring Casemiro in for this match and just, you know, solidify things?
You could say that, but it's the way they've gone, like, basically man for man in the midfield area. So there's huge big gaps. So they're not compact, and they're getting stretched constantly in the game. Don't get me wrong, Casemiro would make a huge difference to most teams.
And Manchester United actually are having to make a change. Varane is limping out of the derby match with 5 minutes to go to half-time. He went over on his ankle when he blocked that shot from Phil Foden a little while ago. So Varane is out. All of that experience, everything that he brings to this United team, this promising partnership with Martinez, well, promising until they came to Manchester City. So Victor Lindelof comes on for his first Premier League appearance of the season, the Swedish captain, and that's it for Kyle Walker. Disappointing for him, injured before the internationals and now injured again. So Kyle Walker, United lose Varane, City lose Walker, and he's replaced by Sergio Gomez, the summer arrival from Anderlecht, the Spanish under-21 international, who has gone over to left back, and Cancelo has moved across to right back. So a change of pace, an injury apiece. Manchester City leading Manchester United comfortably 3-0. Another update coming from the Singapore Grand Prix now from Jack Nicholls.
Less than an hour and a half to go in this race, and Sergio Perez is still leading, and he's just growing his gap a little bit. 1.7 seconds to Charles Leclerc. Lewis Hamilton's right behind Carlos Sainz in the fight for third. Max Verstappen has made his way up into 7th place, attacking Fernando Alonso now. Full commentary on Sports Extra.
Jack's got Sergio Perez, we've got Sergio Gomez. Here's Akanji, long and right-footed up into the Manchester United half, but Martinez comes forward and just volleys that away downfield, and it runs out of play for a throw into City deep inside their own half.
That'll be down to frustration. That big volley down the pitch, he'd be frustrated playing against a Haaland and not getting much protection in front of him.
Ball cleared away by Cancelo. Ball bounces down for Eriksen, but De Bruyne's in there to whip it away from Eriksen. Kevin De Bruyne now might have run that ball out of play. It's right on the white line. He's still going. It's on the white line. Plays it infield to Haaland, who's on that hat-trick. Haaland, though, plays it square to Grealish. Grealish left side of the area, back to Haaland, who mishit it. Incredible. I don't believe it. And then he couldn't keep the ball in play, and it's a goal kick to Manchester United.
I'm speechless watching some of Man City's football, though. It's truly magnificent. And you watch De Bruyne. What was he like running down that wing?
How did it stay in? It defied the laws of gravity.
You talk about the ability of De Bruyne, but what about his work ethic? The amount of running he does in the game. Phenomenal player.
And this is back to nightmare territory again for Erik ten Hag. What a start he's had, really, when you think about it. Here's Rashford, though, down the left-hand side. Rashford for United. Eriksen's ball in towards the edge of the area. It's rolled all the way to Anthony, who shoots into the back of the newly arrived Gomez. And now here's De Bruyne. De Bruyne running free in the centre circle. Gives it to his left to Haaland. De Bruyne's gone down. He's fouled off the ball. It's played in by Haaland. And then scored! Foden slides in. It's 4-0 now. Haaland turns supplier. Haaland with 2 goals, now Foden with 2 goals. Manchester City with 4 against United, and it's not even half-time.
It's embarrassing, this, for Man United. Absolutely embarrassing. The pace and power of De Bruyne, Eriksen couldn't stay with it. And the run from Foden, the pass from Haaland. It's brilliant. It's brilliant play, but Man United are helping themselves one little bit. Like I said before, the man-on-man in midfield, and it isn't working. But Manchester City, what a team.
Place is absolutely buoyant now. It's bouncing. Apart from one thin section over 3 tiers to our right, just beyond the goal, behind the goal, that is being defended by Manchester United, David De Gea. And the fact is, they've scored 4 goals. How many could it be?
6, 7. You hate to see what could happen for the full 90 minutes. He's going to have to bring a midfielder off, he's going to have to bring a fullback off, because it can't get worse. They need to stop the rot. The game's done. Manchester City leading by 4-0. Television cameras have found Sir Alex Ferguson sitting up there in his Manchester United blazer, and it's safe to say that he's got a stern expression on his face. Another derby nightmare unfolding for Manchester United here. Malacia playing it back to Martinez, and De Bruyne's not far away, gives it back to Malacia, who's got Haaland behind him, plays it across the 6-yard box. Haaland was almost onto De Gea there before he got it away out to the far side. 2 minutes of added time. Manchester United coming vainly forward. It's passed forward by Antony for Sancho, but Akanji comes across and is able to take possession of the ball, and Manchester City come away with it again, but it's passed out of play actually for a throw into Manchester United. Superb reading of the game by Akanji, just matched the run. If Fernandes had got his head up, Rashford was free, Cancelo couldn't get back.
And this is as United do come again. Fernandes inside the box, playing it to Antony, who puts his foot on the ball. Now into the penalty area, lovely, worked it beautifully to Eriksen on the edge of the box, gives it back to Bruno Fernandes, touch from him, drives it in, Ederson dives forward, punches it up and away out of the penalty area. Foden's onto this, bounces for Eriksen, Eriksen clips it over the top, but too much on that, and it's straight through. There's applause there from Bruno Fernandes, the United captain out there, but goal kick Manchester City. Manchester City 4, Manchester United 0, and those TV cameras, I think the drone must be up there. There's always a drone, isn't there, these days, picking out shots of the Manchester United fans leaving the Etihad before half-time. And yeah, look up there now to our right. I mean, there's no mistaking it. Blue seats are appearing in all 3 sections, those 3 tiers of the Manchester United fans. They cannot watch anymore, and I'm not surprised.
No, I don't blame them. I don't blame them, because there's only been one team, and that's been Man City. Man United have been, to put it lightly, dreadful.
Well, after the 4 wins in a row in their last 4 Premier League games, and, you know, they've not played in the league for 28 days because of the postponements, the Palace and Leeds postponements, either side of the Queen's funeral.
And they beat good teams with it as well, John, that's the thing.
But Liverpool, Arsenal.
This is a different team.
Yeah.
This is a different team
altogether. But this is going to open up all the same wounds, the same arguments, the same points. And there's the half-time whistle, and Pep Guardiola demanding all the way through that first half, turns away, and even Pep Guardiola, as he turned away, clapped to himself. 2 or 3 little claps, and that tells you that's been a good half for Manchester City. No, it's not been a good half, that's been a great half for Manchester City, but what a nightmare for United. 4-0 Jonathan Woodgate.
But Manchester City have been sublime. Everything they do, every time they go forward, they look like they're going to score. It could be more than 4-0, but they've been terrific. Haaland, De Bruyne, Foden, Grealish have been terrific. A great performance up to now. Yeah,
so 2 goals for Foden, who started and ended the scoring. 2 for Haaland in between times, so he's got a chance, Haaland, of scoring a hat-trick in 3 consecutive home Premier League matches in the second half, and I don't think he's going to be taken off at half-time. It is, at the break, in the sunshine, City fans lapping up this October sunshine with a scoreline of City 4, United 0 in the Manchester derby at half-time.
Jonathan Woodgate, I've been keeping my eyes on you in the brief sort of times where Manchester City haven't been attacking in that first half, and I'd say you're sort of a combination of in awe and sort of just uncomfortable with how United are playing.
Yeah, but United are wide open. That's why I can't understand. The 3 in midfield basically going man-to-man with the Manchester City midfield, and it's leaving the back 4 exposed. Every turnover, Man City get the ball and they're running at the back 4. I mean, the performance from Man City has been different class. Grealish, Foden, De Bruyne, Haaland, magnificent. Gundogan pulling the strings, Bernardo Silva, all being outstanding. And when you look at Man United, you're lost for words at the performance. I mean, it summed it up after about the first 1 minute with Dalot bringing down Grealish and getting a yellow card. Both fullbacks are on yellow cards. They'll probably bring one of them off, probably bring a midfielder off and Casemiro on. They're struggling, by the way.
I don't understand why that didn't happen at 1-0. I don't know, in management, what's the earliest substitution you've ever made, but 15 minutes into that game, you could see that Manchester United were in all kinds of trouble. I'm just surprised that we've got to half-time and the only change that Erik ten Hag has made is because Varane's picked up an injury. Like, you could see it a mile off, can't you?
You could see with Dalot, without doubt. I mean, Grealish was playing really well against him. And when Jack Grealish is confident, you can guarantee he's going to be running at that full-back all day long. He's coming on the outside, he's going on the inside. I mean, I've been brought off before on I think it was 35 minutes, and I deserved to be brought off at Stoke against Wolves. I was playing right back. I deserved to come off. Dalot he needs to come off in this game because it's going to get worse for him.
We talked a lot about stopping the supply because look, Manchester City are amazing and Erling Haaland is an absolute phenom, clearly, but you have to have the discussion about how you get close at least to stopping it. The number of times where De Bruyne has picked up that ball or another Man City midfielder has picked up that ball and just run in clear green grass through the centre of that midfield.
It's been so easy for them, so easy that they're not compact, but it's down to that man-to-man in midfield. If De Bruyne gets away from Eriksen, what happens? For instance, if Gundogan gets away from Fernandes, then what happens? So it's a snowball effect, but it's obviously the game plan from Man United, but Man City have been terrific against it. Absolutely brilliant.
John Murray, have you got the record books out yet?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm doing. It's shaping up to be the biggest win since the famous 6-1 at Old Trafford, which was back in 2011. I'm just looking to see if I can find the biggest home win. The next one I go back to is 5-1 back in the old First Division in 1989 at Main Road. So it could turn out to be the biggest win since then, as long as Manchester City continue from where they left off when the half-time whistle went.
Yeah, how many times do you watch a team absolutely dominate a first half and go 3 or 4-0 up? It doesn't happen all that often, but the number of times that then is converted to it still being 3 or 4-0 at full time is marked. So we shall see. Here's one stat for you, courtesy of Richard Jolly, who's always on the money with his stats. It's the first time Manchester United have conceded 4 goals in a half since August. So there you go. Very, very bad half for Manchester United, but City look absolutely magnificent. Right, we'll go to Ellen Road for the first time today, shortly ahead of Leeds versus Aston Villa, which is our 4:30 commentary. We'll be at the Arc de Triomphe as well. We're only 15 minutes away from the start of that race, and John Hunt will be keeping us up to date. Lots to come then before the second half starts. Let's get the news with Lisa McCormick.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live. Conservative MPs have been defending the Prime Minister after she admitted that mistakes had been made in the lead up to last week's mini-budget. Liz Truss has said that her government could have laid the ground better for the Chancellor's announcement of major tax cuts. An investigation's underway in Indonesia after at least 125 people were killed in a crush at a football match in the island of Java. Crowds rushed to the exits after police tear-gassed fans who invaded the pitch after their home team lost to their bitter rivals. Resti Woro Junior is Asia reporter for the South China Morning Post.
The police said that dozens of bodies are still unidentified because they didn't carry their citizenship identity cards with them, indicating that they are still teenagers or children because the age limit to get the cards in Indonesia is 17 years old.
Ukrainian forces have captured a strategically important town inside territory that was formerly annexed by Russia on Friday. President Zelensky says all of Moscow's forces have now been cleared from Lyman, which is a rail hub for the eastern Donetsk region. 2 men have been charged with assaulting a person who appeared to heckle Prince Andrew in Edinburgh last month. The incidents happened when the royal was walking behind Queen Elizabeth's coffin in the city. And runners are continuing to cross the finish line in the London Marathon. More than 40,000 people are taking part this year. The men's elite race was won by Kenya's Amos Kipruto, who ran it in 2 hours 4 minutes. And Ethiopia's Yalemzerf Yaluha won the women's title with a time of 2 hours and 17 minutes.
Discover something new about some very well-known people.
If I could go back and talk to 11-year-old me and tell him what the next 30 years has been, his head would explode.
In-depth conversations in Radio 4's This Cultural Life.
John walked into the room one day and said, "I'm leaving the Beatles." And then we were left to pick up the pieces.
Including James Corden, Paul McCartney and Nicole Kidman.
My upbringing gave me the sense of being able to see through different lenses.
This Cultural Life. Listen on BBC Sounds.
More live Premier League football than anyone else.
5 Lives Premier League Sunday
with Steve Crossman.
Well, we are witnessing something absolutely extraordinary on Premier League Sunday. We're live from the Etihad Stadium. It is half-time in the Manchester derby, and the score is City 4, United 0. The Singapore Grand Prix is underway. The start was delayed just over an hour because of the rain. Let's check in with your commentator, Jack Nichols.
Well, we are under virtual safety car conditions at the moment. It's lap 23 of 61, but more pertinently, there's an hour and 13 minutes left on the clock. It's probably going to run to time, this race. Perez took the lead at the start, got ahead of Charles Leclerc into the first corner, and that has been the order ever since. Perez, Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton, Norris, the top 5. George Russell has just gambled to put on a set of the slick tyres and is sliding all over the place. Mark Priestley, the former McLaren mechanic, is alongside me, and it is a very interesting Grand Prix. Verstappen's got up into 6th place, but Russell's gone out on the slick tyres, the dry tyres, and he's really struggling out there.
He is, but it's the gamble that we've all been waiting for somebody to take. Now we're going to get some information, and it's going to come from the Mercedes of George Russell. He's got to get those tyres up to temperature very, very quickly, and when he does, we'll start to see the big difference between dry tyre lap times and wet tyre lap times, and everybody else in that pit lane will be watching closely too.
The virtual safety car has just ended. It was brought out because Fernando Alonso retired from the Grand Prix, so everybody now is back up to full racing speed. Sergio Perez's lead over Charles Leclerc is a couple of seconds, and he's looked very, very comfortable in control of this Grand Prix. Perez. Leclerc's been pushing him, but at the moment the Red Bull man is holding on.
Yeah, just about, but they're trading fastest laps all the way through. There's really not a lot in it between them. They've dropped the sister Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. Right behind Sainz is Lewis Hamilton, who's been giving him trouble all the way through the race, but just can't find a way past. Hamilton 4th, Sainz 3rd right now, but that battle for the final podium position has a long way to run yet.
Max Verstappen in 6th, looking to make his way up the order. It looks as though he's not going to be able to win the championship this evening, but Perez leads, Leclerc 2nd. We've still got an hour and 10 minutes to go here, Steve.
Thank you very much, Jack. Following conclusion of the F1, you'll be able to hear commentary of the 7th and final match in England's T20 International Series with Pakistan, currently level at 3-3. Of course, it's England's first time back playing in Pakistan for 17 years. Let's bring in Henry Moran, part of our commentary team. This setup, Henry, and where we've ended up, it just feels perfect for everybody, doesn't it?
Oh, it's been a brilliant series, and I think at the start of it, when we saw 7 fixtures scheduled, we all thought, well, by the end of it, surely we'll be a little bit bored of watching the same players playing against each other, but it has been the series that has had absolutely everything. Really interesting matches. It has gone one way and then the other, and there's not been any match that's really repeated one before it. There've been big wins, narrow wins, and it's been really, really interesting, and crucially, it's been the sort of preparation both sides will be looking for ahead of the T20 World Cup. We've got the toss in around about 5 minutes or so from now, and play underway at 3:30.
Yeah, as you say, it's a great series, it's a great spectacle, and it's important, but equally it's very, very important when it comes to getting ready for that World Cup.
It is, yeah. Not long to go until that. England have got 3 matches in Australia prior to the tournament starting. And of course, this is a tournament that England go into with high expectations of success. They are one of the best white ball sides in the world. They will welcome back into the side Jos Buttler once he's recovered from calf injury. He's been with the squad but hasn't featured in Pakistan. Liam Livingston has also been named in the squad. Whether he'll get back in time after ankle injury remains to be seen. But this is an England team that have really fought hard in this series and have seen players have stood up and looked to that opportunity to get into that World Cup squad and suggest that they should be the player that is opening the batting, particularly with Buttler in the case of Phil Salt and Alex Hales. And it has been a hugely entertaining and significant series in so many ways.
Henry, thank you. Commentary, by the way, starts on the BBC Sport website at 3:15, moves to 5 Sports Extra following the conclusion of the F1. Really oddly, as Henry was talking about a player trying to put the hand up and say, I should be in this World Cup squad, Luke Shaw just ran out onto the pitch here at the Etihad Stadium. He is fully stripped and ready to go, so it looks like he is going to be a half-time substitution for Manchester United. Less than 10 minutes away from the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe in Paris, one of the biggest races of the year. John Hunt will be watching it for us.
And sadly, Steve, it looks as though the centrepiece of the European racing season will be run in dreadful conditions. It's absolutely pouring down in Paris. The runners getting mounted, heading off to post, and the betting sees lots of support for Sir Mark Prescott's British Raider Alpinista, who is the 4-1 favourite. Luxembourg is 5-1, trained by Aidan O'Brien, who's bidding to win this race for the 3rd time. Then on 7-1, Verdani, the French Derby winner, ridden by Christophe Soumillon, and also the principal hope of Japan, title holder, also at 7-1. Next in the market is last year's winner Torquato Tasso, representing Germany. Horrible conditions, but Steve, this remains a great race, and they're on their way to post.
Due off in the next few minutes. We'll be back with John Hunt shortly. Then also we've got updates of Harlequins Northampton in the Gallagher Premiership about to kick off, if it hasn't already, Sarah Orchard.
Yeah, we've just got underway. Harlequins 0, Northampton 0. Still in the first minute. It's Quins attacking the 22. They've got Danny Kerr starting for the first time this season after he was dropped from Eddie Jones' England squad for their mini camp that starts tonight. He's head to head with Alex Mitchell, the scrum half whose stock is high. Underway first minute. It's Harlequins 0, Northampton 0.
Well, once we're done here at the Etihad, Manchester City 4, Manchester United 0 at half-time. We'll be at Villa Park, Ellen Road for Leeds against Aston Villa. Kicks off at 4:30. Vicky Sparks on commentary duty. You are at Ellen Road, Vicky, aren't you?
Yes, I am, Steve. I have gone to the right place, thank you.
Excellent. And Clinton Morrison is there as well. This is the earliest you've ever got to a game, Clinton.
Yeah, I know. I was listening to good commentary, though, from John Murray and Jonathan Woodgate, but I had to hear you in the build-up before, which was a bit disappointing. But, yeah, I'm here early, and I'm looking forward to the game. But good commentary so far, brilliant commentary.
Yeah, I bet you enjoyed Erling Haaland's goals as well, because I assume you've captained him in your fantasy team.
Yeah, well done, mate. I knew someone told you. What? Listen, I took him out of the captain because I thought Salah would go and score a hat-trick against Brighton. But so he's not. I didn't captain him. I made a mistake. And I had Carl Walker and he's gone off injured. So I'm not having a good day, but we'll move on.
Speaking of great strikers, Clinton, there is a hope for Leeds United that Patrick Bamford might be back this afternoon. I mean, they could really do with that boost, couldn't they?
Yeah, definitely. He's been excellent for them. When he's fit, Patrick Bamford is the main man for Leeds. He can score goals. He holds the ball up. He's that key figure for them. So they do need him back, because that's where they struggle to try and put the ball in the back of the net. I like them in the midfield. They're very strong. Out wide, the likes of Harrison, Sinisterra, very good players. But I just feel they're missing that focal point, someone to put the ball in the back of the net. So hopefully he is back this afternoon.
Vicky, the Leeds manager, might be watching from quite close to your commentary position.
I know. We've made space just in case Jesse Marsh wants to come and join us. Clinton's prepared to do a little interview midway through the first half, get his thoughts 20 minutes in. Yes, Jesse Marsh sent off in their last match, which was at the start of September for Leeds. They've not played in a month. When they were denied a penalty against Brentford, he wasn't happy. He got sent to the stands and he's serving a one-match touchline ban, which means that he can be in the dressing room before the match, at half-time as well, and post-match, and he can communicate during the game. So he is still in charge, but he'll be in charge from the gantry, somewhere sitting high up here in the stands at Ellen Road with us. And assistant manager Renee Marich is going to be orchestrating things in the dugout. But interesting from Jesse Marsh, he says it's a test to see how clear his lead side are with everything when he's not right on top of it all, as he usually is from the dugout. So passionate on the touchline.
Vicky, thank you. Plenty of passion here, and Manchester City very much in control. John Murray.
Yes, thank you, Steve. The second half begins here at the Etihad Stadium with a scoreline: Manchester City 4, Manchester United 0. Erik ten Hag has made another change. Malacia is off and Luke Shaw has come on. Did wonder whether earlier in the match there may have been an issue with Malacia, because Luke Shaw was warming up from early on in the piece. But he's on, Luke Shaw, having scored against the Germans at Wembley on Monday night for England, played in both of those games. But this is his first appearance in the Premier League since August the 13th, since the game against Brentford, when, of course, Manchester United were 4-0 down at half-time. And Foden's won the ball back on the edge of the area, shoots across goal, saved by De Gea, diving to his right. And City are at it again, Jonathan Woodgate.
Well, he just beat Martinez there in a 50-50 tackle and went through on goal. So that says everything about how the second half started.
Oh, just cut out by Diogo Dalot.
There,
A crossfield pass. I mean, he almost landed on the ball. Otherwise, it would have been through. And Grealish would have been in one-on-one. And I think possibly there in that minute, City have answered the question that I was going to ask you, which was, do City, because of the packed schedule that they've got coming up, do they ease off? Do they coast to victory? Which they could do in this match, or do they go for the old jugular?
Yeah, I don't think Pep Guardiola's that type of manager. I think he will go for the jugular. I think he wants more goals. He's that type of manager.
I very nearly went for the jugular there rather than the jugular. United with the ball on the halfway line. Martinez. Here's Lindelof, came on as the first half substitute for Varane. Remember, Varane was off the field, couldn't come back onto the field when City scored that second goal from the set piece, when Haaland dominated it in the air. And United come down the right-hand side with Anthony just rolling the ball back onto his left foot, then playing it infield. McTominay is there. Boos from the City fans. Lots of empty seats in the United section. Many of them have already left, gone home before half-time when they were 4-0 down. And United with Sancho in the City right-back position. Here's the cross from Shaw, which is headed away by Akanji. All the talk before the match, if you weren't listening to us earlier, was that there was no Rodri in the team. Picked up an injury in training yesterday. Diaz only on the bench. So Ake and Akanji were the central defenders. I'll run you through the teams in full in a moment or two, but United with it on the right-hand side. Really, for Manchester United, it's all about trying to avoid a record defeat in Manchester derbies. Here is Anthony trying to weave patterns on the right. Puts his foot on the ball, standing in front of Jack Grealish. Normally you see Grealish doing that kind of thing to his opponents. Just to warn you as well, we're going to be going to hear commentary on the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. They are going to the post at Longchamp, so we'll bring you commentary. John Hunt is in position, watching the pictures from Paris. 4-0 Manchester City lead. We're also keeping across the Harlequins Northampton match in the Premiership. Sarah Orchard.
It's Harlequins 7, Northampton 0. It could be Quinton for another one as they're racing down this near side. They're about to go 12-0 up. The first try scored by Jack Musk. The second's gone over by Lennox and Anyu. Still a conversion to come from that second try, but after only 6.5 minutes, it's Harlequins 12, Northampton 0.
Thanks, Sarah. The Grand Prix commentary continues on Sports Extra. The T20 decider between Pakistan and England will start online, due to begin at 3:30 in Lahore. And just had a look at the leaderboard in the Dunhill Links Championship. Ryan Fox is leading by 2 shots at St Andrews from Rory McIlroy and overnight leader Richard Mansell. City 4-0 up on Manchester United here, and City with Akanji plays it back to Cancelo, who's now at right back. In fact, the City team now, Ederson in goal. At the back, Cancelo, who's moved across to replace the injured Kyle Walker. Then Akanji and Ake, substitute Gomez on the left. Then Gundogan with De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva either side of him in the middle. And then Foden and Grealish in the wider positions either side of Haaland. And both Haaland and Foden are on hat-tricks. 2 goals apiece. Bernardo Silva with the ball deep inside his own half, just taps it back to Ake.
Strength.
Yeah, strong against
McTominay.
McTominay, yeah. Grealish heads it forward. Haaland gets there first ahead of Lindelof, and then Lindelof puts it out of play. That's Sweden against Norway, of course. Manchester United with De Gea in goal. This is now the back four. Dalot, substitute Lindelof, Martinez and substitute Shaw, McTominay and Eriksen, Anthony on the right, Bruno Fernandes behind Marcus Rashford, and Jadon Sancho on the left. But United, really, I mean, I've got absolutely nothing written down on the half of paper in terms of opportunities to score that Manchester United have had. There has been next to nothing. And City playing the ball out from the back with Ederson. Grey skies now, overcast skies above the Etihad Stadium as Akanji takes it forward strongly and then passes it forward to Grealish, and Grealish now attacking the penalty area and giving it to the left-hand side to Gomez, whose cross comes off Dalot and loops behind, lands in front of the hoardings. It's a corner to Manchester City from the left, so all eyes on Haaland here.
Akanji's been very good, hasn't he? Bringing the ball out. The defence really solid.
Applause for Kevin De Bruyne and Phil Foden. Oh, Kevin De Bruyne, they sing his name. Played such a part in that mauling in the first half. De Bruyne now plays it in towards the back post. That's headed away by Lindelof. It was actually Ake who was closest to getting there for Manchester City, but it's cleared away by United. Sancho has got both Foden and De Bruyne, the two men involved in the corner, either side of him, putting in the challenges. Yeah, that shows there's certainly no let up in the hunger.
The work ethic. Even when Haaland gave it away, he started sprinting back. It's brilliant to have those as a top player, have that work ethic. To build that culture what Guardiola's built with the team, and how he has them working on and off the ball is magnificent.
We thought we might see Casemiro, didn't we, at half-time, but still not yet. And so it is Eriksen and McTominay in centre field, and it goes back to half-time. So as promised, we now have commentary on the closing stages of the big race at Longchamp, the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, with John Hunt.
Thank you, John. Yes, they've only just jumped off, really, in dreadful conditions here in Paris. Very interesting that the principal Japanese hope for the race, title holder, has been burst out of the gates and leads in the very early stages from fellow Japanese rider Deep Bond in second place, and then Broome towards the outer. Alpinistas settled nicely just in behind those, with Al Hakim towards the inside. Westover is next, and then Stay Foolish for Japan towards the wide outside. Mar Australis races next. Luxembourg at the moment is buried away amongst runners. So too is Verdeni. Sealiway is further back. Mostadaf is spotted right at the back of the field. Mishrif is overall back marker. Dodus is also sitting towards the rear of the field with Grand Glory. But my word, title holder is making this such a strong gallop here. This is a stamina test like we've seldom seen before, because title holder puts it up to the rest of the field from the very word go. Broome often front runs, but is in second place and being chased along. Al Hakim has moved smoothly into third place. Alpinista goes like a dream in behind in fourth. Deep Bond's already starting to cry enough in fifth place as they begin the long turn back towards home. Westenova, Mendocino and Stay Foolish are next. They're followed through by Luxembourg on the inside of Mar Australis, who's towards the outside. Last year's winner, Torquato Tasso, should love these conditions, will have to come from way back. Alenka's further back in the field, and so too Bubble Gift. Mostadaf, Mishrif seems to be struggling now, right at the back end of the field, racing in company with Grand Glory, as Ernesto also struggles at the back end of the field. Tailed off now is Dodus. Can title holder hold on for a famous victory? Alpinistas arrive there going strongly in second place. Luke Morris has not moved a muscle yet, being chased in behind by Luxembourg, who's also starting to stay on, and also with these on the outside is Al Hakim. Alpinista though goes for home. Alpinista for Samar Prescott. Torquato Tasso finishing strongly on the outside for Germany. There's 100 metres left for Alpinista to try and last home. Verdeni's trying to close late as well, but it is just Alpinista who has won the Arc de Triomphe. Verdeno, Torquato Tasso, and in behind those Al Hakim. Mendocino came next. It is a quite marvellous result for 74-year-old Newmarket trainer Sir Mark Prescott. It is a lifetime ambition realised as Alpinista wins the Arc de Triomphe, beats Verdeni, who was second. Torquato Tasso, last year's winner, only third today. Al Hakim was fourth. That is a marvellous result for British racing, and a quite sensational result for the popular Sir Mark Prescott, as Alpinista carries away racing's biggest prize.
Thank you very much, John. Welcome back to Manchester, where it is still 4-0 to Manchester City, as it was at half-time in the Derby match. But a terrific story in the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, brought to you by John Hunt, and I'm sure we will do our very best to hear from Sir Mark Prescott by the end of 5 Live Sport today. He's never trained a classic winner, never won the Arc, never trained a classic winner, and he is, as John said, 74 years old. So that is a story. This is a story as well. Manchester United trying to do something about this scoreline, this dreadful scoreline, which they have. What a goal from Anthony on his left foot from 25 yards, curling it beyond the dive of Ederson to his right and inside the left post, and Manchester United at least are on the score sheet. It's Anthony, 2 goals in 2 Premier League appearances for him. Manchester City 4, Manchester United 1 now.
That was a brilliant strike. And inside of his left foot, just curls it around Ederson, but Pep Guardiola was going crazy on the sideline. He's not happy about something. There was no pressure on him, and it was too easy for him to deliver that shot into the far corner. I think it's the most time that Manchester United kept the ball. They had a slight look at the ball for a small amount of time, and then they go and produce something.
Brilliant finish. He really wowed us in the time that he was on the field on his debut. So scored on his Premier League debut for Manchester United. Now he's scored in his first appearance in the Manchester derby. And here he is on the ball now. Those Manchester United fans who left the ground have missed that. But they may have won that particular battle, Manchester United, but they've got a great deal to do to win today's Manchester derby war, as it were. 4-1 down. But like I say, at least they're on the score sheet. And the ball is played forward towards Shaw, who then finds Akanji arriving to firmly put it out of play for a throw-in to Manchester United. What that does mean is, with Manchester United having scored the goal, that lessens the chance of this being a record-winning scoreline in a derby match. But let's see. Manchester City get into their stride as they did in the first half, then no one knows the damage that might be able to be done. And it's that question again. I remember asking it in the matches last season against Manchester City and against Liverpool as well. Do you feel, Jonathan, that this has been a case of Manchester United being poor or Manchester City being very, very good?
I think it's a bit of both, John. I think at times Manchester City in that first half was sublime, and Manchester United was so poor at times. It really is a mixture of both.
City coming forward. We're going to have a Grand Prix update very shortly, but City with the ball on the right-hand side. Here's Foden. Foden infield towards Bernardo Silva, and Bernardo Silva now curling a low pass across the surface of the pitch to Grealish. Grealish, who gets away from Dalot, then goes down too easily, and the ball runs behind for a goal kick to Manchester United. So yes, latest Grand Prix update from Jack Nicholls.
We are past the half race distance, 52 minutes to go, and Perez is still leading, but Leclerc was 1.2 seconds quicker than him on that last lap. Lewis Hamilton still can't get past Carlos Sainz in the fight for third place. Fernando Alonso has retired from the race, so Verstappen is now up into sixth position, but Perez leading still.
Double change for Manchester United. Casemiro is now onto the field to replace McTominay, Jonathan, and also Marcus Rashford, who was a doubt for this game, recovering from a hamstring problem that he had that kept him out of the England matches. And indeed for Manchester United, Rashford is replaced by Anthony Martial, who returns for only his second appearance of the season, because he's also had an injury.
Martial before Ronaldo. Strange.
Good point. Ronaldo continues to sit on the bench, and City with the ball in front of their own penalty area. 5 Live Premier League Sunday and BBC Sounds. City walking the ball out from the back. You'll be able to talk about this with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton on 606 after the Leeds Aston Villa commentary. Ake playing it forward but beyond Haaland, and that's cleared away by Martinez, but only back to City on the halfway line. Yeah, talk about it on 606 with Robbie and Chris. Read about it on the BBC Sport website. Watch Match of the Day 2 tonight. You'll see Haaland's 2 goals, might be more. Here's Grealish now. Grealish into the penalty area, pulls it away brilliantly, leaves Casemiro on his backside. Grealish then to the byline and crossing into Dalot, and winning a corner for Manchester City from the left.
It's fascinating watching Erling Haaland's movement in the box. It just goes, you know exactly where he's going every single time. Back post, he just goes in between the centre back and the full back and lingers around that area.
Corner then for City. Again, it's the Foden to Bruyne combination to take this. Foden raises his arm. It is Foden who takes it, but it's over the top of Haaland. Ake heads it across, then it's headed by Akanji. That's half headed away. They haven't got it clear yet. Casemiro got ahead to it, and it bounces down into the left back position where Eriksen clears it away downfield. And I noticed the TV cameras there have now found Alfie Haaland, Erling's father. He is here, of course, sitting in the Manchester City seats, watching the match. Haaland is here, and Roy Keane is here, as you pointed out before the game. The 2 famous combatants all those years ago. The last time a Haaland played in a Manchester derby. Here is Grealish now, taking the ball in from the left-hand side. City just beginning to get into their stride again, you feel. Bernardo Silva breaks down on the edge of the box. United played away. Eric Ten Hag's now made 4 substitutions. So having lost Varane and possibly Malacia as well to injury, McTominay and Rashford are off. And here's Luke Shaw on the left-hand side. Red shirts, black shorts, black socks. And United go back into their own half. City, sky blue shirts, white shorts, blue socks. As the ball is played out of play by Ericsson. And this plays passed by a distance, actually. And that's out. And City have a throw-in, which they take back into their own half. The most goals City have scored in one match in a Manchester derby, it's 6 twice. In that match we were talking about back in 2011, that famous game at Old Trafford in the Premier League, that was 6-1, and they also won 6-1 away in the old First Division back in 1926. But at the moment they're stuck on 4-1 is the scoreline. Here is Ake passing it out to Grealish, who's just going to knock it back to Ederson, being put under pressure as he was, and Ederson passes it out to Akanji. Gundogan comes and takes up possession, uses Akanji to his right, and the Swiss international gives it to Cancelo, now operating on the right-hand side, and then might have been caught late. He was, played the ball, but he was caught. The challenge came in, combination of Shaw, and it is Shaw who conceded the free kick. So a free kick over on the right-hand side, and that bright sunshine now. All of those on the far side shielding their eyes from this sunshine. The City actually just go back into their own half. And then Gomez with a touch. Gomez has suddenly taken up a position in central midfield. Sergio Gomez, the left back. Gomez now plays it through, slips it forward to Bernardo Silva, and then Bernardo Silva through to Haaland, who shoots low and wide of the near post into the side net. I think De Gea had it covered down there with his right hand.
His timing of the run, and it's so quick over the first 6 yards, but it's his timing, and it's so difficult to defend against. It really is, the pace, the time.
Ball comes from the goal kick back to De Gea, who then clears long. Ericsson involved in a tussle centrally with Bernardo Silva. City who come out with the ball, and Gundogan just takes it back into his own half. And then just cushions it, pulls it onto his left foot, gives it to De Bruyne. De Bruyne now to Grealish on the left-hand side of City, as they like to do in the second half, playing from right to left. De Bruyne back to the left-hand side. Gomez's ball across. It's there! Haaland! It's another hat-trick! This is phenomenal from Erling Haaland. What he's doing here this season. The way he started with Manchester City. A hat-trick in a third consecutive home Premier League match. I mean, we're seeing things from this boy that we've never seen before. Devastating. And that's 5-1 to City in the derby match here at the Etihad.
I've never seen a centre-forward as clinical as Erling Haaland. He is a phenomenal player. The way he guides that in the back of the net, he finds space in the box, and he's devastating when he gets in there. The finish, he guides it in. It's a beautiful finish, another hat-trick. A phenomenal talent.
Manchester City 5, Manchester United 1. Buried. Left foot. Bang. They're having a look, though, for possible offside.
Please don't spoil it. Please don't spoil it.
With the naked eye. Is that a green line? Yes, it is. It's onside. Goal stands. It was for Gomez, actually, who, when he received the ball on the left-hand side, narrowly on. The hat-trick stands. That is now 17 goals for him in all competitions this season. That is 14 in the Premier League. So he's now got twice as many as the man closest to him, Harry Kane.
What is the record goal score for a season?
That is a very good question.
Shearer's got to be up there, hasn't he?
Well, Clive Allen scored a great deal of goals one season. United with the ball on the left-hand side, 5-1 down, still plenty of time to play.
In Premier League history.
I see Gary is tapping away, producer Gary, on his machine, who will come up with the answer in a trice. But I actually spoke to Harry Kane last week, and the subject at the time was, well, you know, Harry Kane staying fit for the World Cup. But I did say to him during the course of the interview, you're going to have to stay fit if you're going to catch that fella.
No.
And here now Fernandes outside the penalty area shoots, it's deflected. Sancho tried to get there, but the ball bounces away from him and behind. Might have been offside anyway, but it is a goal kick to Manchester City. So if we're talking only Premier League, and it will be interesting to see how many goals Clive Allen scored before the Premier League started, but 34 is the record in a season, both Shearer and Cole. Shearer in 95, Andy Cole in 94. But I've got a feeling Clive Allen might have been more than that. But you know, that will be the record for a 20-match top-flight season.
He'll break that
if he stays fit.
Yeah, by some distance. Yeah, hopefully he stays fit, but by some distance.
It was Dixie Dean with the record for a single season. Which was 1927-1928, when Dixie Dean scored 60 goals that season. Mind you, if you've seen the statue outside Goodison Park of him, I'm not surprised he scored 60 goals. The statue's twice the size of anyone else. So it's another brilliant day. Haaland, I mean, hat-tricks in 3 consecutive home Premier League matches as well. And De Bruyne now, and the City fans now just around us. We're doing the Poznan. I've not seen that here for quite a long time, when they stand up and all put their backs to the action. And 5-1. I mean, they're demanding more. They want this to be a record.
You do want more. You do, as a manager, as fans, you want more. You want to beat your rivals, beat them good. That's what you want to do.
So it's 5-1. Anthony briefly made it 4-1. He has one long downfield for Grealish to chase. Comes up from him, doesn't reach it, and it's through to goalkeeper De Gea. Another update from Harlequins Northampton, Sarah Orchard.
Yeah, I'm nervous. You're coming to me, there's going to be another goal, but it's Harlequins 14, Northampton 3 here. It was the Saints who were battering away down in the Quins half of the pitch. They just realised they weren't going to go over, kick the penalty, so they're on the board now through their fly half. Dan Bigger, it's Harlequins 14, Northampton 3, 21 minutes on the clock.
Earlier in the Championship, Watford fans, if you're listening, they'll be in good heart after their 4-0 win at Stoke. First match under Slaven Bilic. And Fernandes plays it forward. Anthony's got away down the right-hand side, but City out back, 2 men on him, Ake and also Gomez. He's managed to get the ball through, though, to Martial, but it bounces away from him, and it'll be cleared out of play by Akanji, halfway inside the Manchester City half. And Erik ten Hag is going to make his 5th and final change, and it's Fred who's going to come on. Actually, United have taken the throw before they can get him onto the field. Bruno Fernandes curling it in now. Shaw, high foot by João Cancelo, who just got to the ball. If he caught Shaw there, that would have been a penalty, but it's behind its corner.
Yeah, he just got there. Luckily enough, it was last ditch. Just gets there. He could have actually taken his head clean off with a stud.
Yes, thankfully that didn't happen. Jadon Sancho is coming off, and it's Fred coming on. Jadon Sancho, who, remember, was a former Manchester City youngster here, former teammate of Haaland, and he's off the field. There were 1 or 2 boos for him. He went off to Borussia Dortmund to make his name, and he made it.
He did. Fair play. It takes a lot of guts for a young kid to do that.
So Fred's on, and here he is receiving the ball from the corner as it's played across by Eriksson. Shaw now drives it forward. That's brilliantly taken down by Martinez. That was travelling from the pass hit towards him by Shaw. United still pressing. I'm not sure whether they're going anywhere. Fernandes back to Dalot, and actually Casemiro plays it infield to Shaw, and Shaw, United being goaded by the City supporters, who do, like me, get that feeling that United are going to lose it sooner or later. Or will they? Fred now to Anthony with a low shot from 25 yards, but he's pulled it well across goal, and there's more derision from the home supporters for Anthony's failed effort at goal.
He just slashed it, but he's looked quite lively, Anthony, when he gets on the ball. He wants to try and produced something. I know it's been difficult for him today, but he scored. Hasn't been the performance any of the Man United players are looking for, but he just looked at the bench there. It was a dejected figure of Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, won't be playing in this derby match. Erik ten Hag having made all his changes, so Fred and Casemiro are on. They started the last match that Brazil played, the recent friendly, both of them in the starting lineup, Casemiro and Fred. So clearly the Brazilian coach Tite has got them in his mind for his starting team, but substitutes for Manchester United.
They've got an incredible record for Brazil when they both play together.
Yeah, Fred playing to the right hand side. I think that as Anthony plays it down the right, he's done well. Anthony, he's found Dalot into the full-back position. His cross doesn't beat the man at the near post, Bernardo Silva, and Grealish just teases it by clipping it away to De Bruyne. And De Bruyne now has got Fred going with him, the two number 17s together, and he's worked it past Fred to Grealish, and it could open up for Manchester City again here. They're looking for 6. Through it goes to Haaland. Haaland, left foot, then through to Foden, who looked offside. Foden buries it. There's no flag. It looks like the goal stands. United are going to the referee, but there's no flag. And now it's a hat-trick for Phil Foden. He's got 3. Manchester City have got 6. And they're equalling the records now in the Manchester derby against United. They're having a field day.
It did look offside, but I tell you what, it was a great finish, wasn't it? What a finish. Assist from Haaland as well.
Well, let's see. Let's see if this will be ruled out by VAR. Foden was onside. Clearly onside by a foot or 2.
Oh, what a finish.
And it's 6-1. 6-1. That equals the record score in a Manchester derby. It's been done twice before, in 1926 and 2011, and now it's being done by Pep Guardiola's team in 2022. And right at the spearhead of it, 2 hat-tricks.
You're lost for words sometimes.
Oh, the ball could have been out of play now. VAR haven't finished with this. But the decision is, the goal stands. Well, it wasn't offside, it wasn't out of play near the halfway line. Even VAR's on Manchester City's side today.
They're making 4 subs here, John.
So 6 goals, 4 subs. And right, let's make sense of this. So who's coming off here? Phil Foden. That's the end of his afternoon. Hat-trick and off.
He's been brilliant, by the way.
Yeah, that's the equivalent of 6 and out in cricket, isn't it?
He's been brilliant.
So Foden. Well, Mahrez is coming on. Laporte's going to make his first appearance of the season. Cole Palmer is on as well. I think I saw Jack Grealish's number 10 going up. So Foden's off, Grealish is off.
Grealish very good as well today. Very good.
Very good.
Best I've seen him play in a Man City shirt, that.
I think Kevin De Bruyne is going to also make the walk. Also superb.
Yeah, brilliant.
And Gundogan. So while all of those players, the quartet, come onto the field for Manchester City, let's get an update on the Pakistan-England T20 decider, which is underway now. You can listen to it online at the moment. It'll be on Sports Extra later. But the early news from Stefan Schemmelt.
England 12 without loss in the first over, 5 deliveries gone. Pakistan won the toss, they chose to field, so England's bowlers will have to deal with the due fall later on when they come to defend a total. Chris Woakes and Richard Gleeson, the only change from England's win a couple of days ago. 12 without loss in the first.
And another change of scoreline in the Harlequins Northampton Premiership match with you, Sarah Orchard.
All about the London club. Harlequins at 21, Northampton 3. A third try for Quins, this time scored through the Luke Northmore, winning his 50th cap for the club today. Harlequins 21, Northampton 3.
Manchester City 6, Manchester United 1 is the scoreline here at the Etihad Stadium, a buoyant Etihad Stadium. This will be grabbing the headlines, of course, all around the world. And it'll be on Match of the Day 2 tonight with Mark Chapman, Jermaine Genius and Troy Deeney but they're going for the outright record. Palmer to Haaland, who shoots straight into the legs of Lindelof, and the ball bounces away. Here is Cole Palmer, another of Manchester City's bright young lights. Scored for the under-21s the other night. Cole Palmer against Germany in the win at Bramall Lane. This is his 6th substitute appearance of the season. But had an injury last season, Jonathan, so was only able to play a sort of fringe part for Manchester City.
He's a talented player.
Yeah, they've got high hopes for him, no question.
They've just moved Ake to left back and switched Sergio Gomez into the centre midfield with Bernardo Silva.
So interchangeable, aren't they?
Yeah, Pep Guardiola experiment, I'd say, with Sergio Gomez in that role.
Yeah, just have a look at him, and why not in this position? Use it. We'll get the team news very shortly on the Leeds Aston Villa commentary match. In fact, City go back into their own half, so let's bring in Vicky Sparks now from across the Pennines. Vicky.
Rodrigo, captain Liam Cooper and Rasmus Christensen return for Leeds. Llorente, Drama and Gelhardt drop out. Bamford is on the bench. Ludvig Augustinsson makes his Villa debut. He's in for Digne. Kamara's also injured. Louise replaces him.
Thank you, Vicky. So we'll hear commentary from 4:30 on 5 Live, BBC Sounds. That'll be on the World Service as well. Clinton Morrison alongside her at Elland Road, one of your old stamping grounds, Jonathan.
Brilliant stadium,
isn't it? Just
atmosphere.
Yeah. Superb. Great fans. Yeah, when things are going well there. By the way, Clive Allen scored 49 in all competitions that season.
In all comps?
Yeah, 49. 33 in the league, 49 in all competitions. That was 86, 87 in that very good Tottenham team.
Haaland will beat that.
Yeah, I think he probably will.
I think he will.
He might beat the lot. Might be going for Dixie Dean. Just imagine the size of the statue of Erling Haaland when they build it here. It'd be bigger than the stadium. City.
He is a giant.
He is.
No getting away from that. He's a giant.
Yeah.
He's some football player.
City with the ball at the back. And Ake now operating at left back, as Jonathan Woodgate said. Cole Palmer concedes a throw-in halfway inside Manchester City territory. I was with the veteran commentator John Helm this week, who I guess you'll know, Jonathan, who we were talking about Haaland, and he's a little bit older than me, and he was saying
John Charles.
He was saying,
I heard you this morning.
Yeah, he said reminiscent of John Charles, who, with your Leeds United history, how he's regarded in the game.
Oh, brilliant player for Leeds, Juventus, Welsh international.
And also a giant.
Yeah.
Gentle giant.
Yeah, that's right.
Christian Eriksen playing the ball forward for Manchester United, but this comes to absolutely nothing. So if you've just switched on to us here, Jonathan Woodgate with us on 5 Live. The score, Manchester City 6, Manchester United 1, 6-1. A hat-trick for Erling Haaland, who's now scored 3 hat-tricks this season and scored 3 hat-tricks in consecutive home Premier League matches. Phil Foden's also collected a hat-trick for Manchester City. So Foden himself has now got 6 for the season. And City, what were you scoffing at there?
Just the skill from Cancelo. A bit of a sublime touch. Just sat Bruno Fernandes down, but it was the touch.
It's been a great day for Manchester City.
It's been some performance.
And it could get better. Going to get an update from the Grand Prix in a moment or two. In fact, let's do that now. Singapore Grand Prix latest with Jack Nicholls.
Well, no, he's gone into a really weird angle into turn 1, trying to attack Schumacher.
In fact, I'm not sure Jack was quite ready for us just at that moment, so we'll try again in a moment or two, but the commentary is on Sports Extra, as you'll have heard. We'll try again shortly, but City with the ball halfway inside their own half. Laporte. This is his first appearance of the season after coming back from that injury. Haaland was challenged.
But look at him straight back up. Look at him.
By Martinez inside the centre circle. But Haaland's up on his feet and he's raced away to the edge of the box. City, meanwhile, build on the right-hand side. Cancelo to...
so strong, isn't he?
Yeah. Now it comes forward to Gomez. Gomez couldn't find the pass to... Cole Palmer, but it bounces back. Gomez trying to find a way through into the penalty area. Then Bernardo Silva. The ball runs away though for Manchester United, and Anthony is in his own right back position, and he plays it across to Lindelof, who gives it back to Anthony. This is all rather precarious. In fact, he's juggled it and cleared it away on the volley Anthony. He is full of tricks and skills, as we know, but it's not really been a day for that for Manchester United.
Do you know what I love about Haaland there? He didn't roll around. He didn't stay on the floor. He just got back up, dusted himself down and sprinted in the box.
And
love to see that.
And that was a firm challenge.
That was a
from
Martinez. Yeah, really firm challenge, but he must just look at Martinez and think, mustn't he? He must just think, what do I do to stop this guy?
Yeah. 6-1, the scoreline. Manchester United playing it away from the back towards Bernardo Silva, who takes up possession. So Pep Guardiola made that quadruple change. I can't remember ever mentioned the fact that Alvarez has come on as well. So he was the fourth man to come on for Manchester City. So Alvarez, as well as Cole Palmer, Laporte and Gomez. 6-1 the scoreline. Back to Harlequins Northampton, Sarah Orchard.
Yeah, going to be high scoring here today. Harlequins 21, Northampton 10. Finally a try for the Saints, scored through their captain Lewis Ludlam, who managed to exploit the Quins' defence. It's Harlequins 21, Saints 10. 3 minutes to the break.
And now we can get the latest on the Singapore Grand Prix with Jack Nicholls.
29 minutes to go. Sergio Perez and Charles Leclerc still fighting for the lead. There's just half a second between them. It's been a fantastic fight. The Red Bulls ahead at the moment. Lewis Hamilton had a crash and he's dropped down to 8th place. Max Verstappen had a big lock-up and went straight on, so he's dropped down to 12th position. He won't be winning the championship today. It's Perez versus Leclerc for the win.
If you just switched on, the commentaries on Sports Extra. We brought you commentary earlier on Alpinista winning the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, the leading British hope, winning the Arc for Sir Mark Prescott. More on that to come. Rory McIlroy's in the hunt for the Dunhill Links Championship at St Andrews. More on that as well. Manchester United playing the ball out from the back. They are on the wrong end of a record equalling Manchester derby scoreline here. 6-1 down. Ericsson playing the ball across field, but that's going to be beyond Shaw, who just keeps it in on the left-hand side. He was at full tilt there, the left back, plays it across to Fred, who shoots from the angle. It's saved and then headed into the net. On the follow-up, Martial gets a second goal for Manchester United and reduces the arrears to 6-2.
Look at the reaction from Pep Guardiola. He said the ball should have gone longer from Ederson. More pressure from the team. There's no records getting broke today, John.
Well, not with this scoreline. 6-2 now. Martial just heading in after decent save actually by Ederson, stuck out the left hand to block the initial shot from Fred, but Martial leaning in the 6-yard box, just nodding it over the line. So Manchester City 6, Manchester United 2 is now the scoreline, and we've got 6 minutes plus added time to play. Commentary to come from Elland Road, Leeds United against Aston Villa, but Haaland and Foden have hogged the headlines with their hat-tricks. Palmer just in front of us, draws 2 United players, gives it to Gomez, back to Palmer on the left-hand side. Palmer across, chance now for Alvarez, but the poke is blocked behind by De Gea's legs, got his body on that. Whether it came back onto Alvarez, I think that's what United are saying, but referee Oliver says no, it's a corner.
Don't think he didn't think Lindelof was going to miss it, so he hasn't anticipated it where it was going to go. De Gea just does enough in the end.
So it is a corner from the left-hand side for Manchester City, which is going to be taken by Gomez, actually. New corner taker, Gomez. Out swinger, which is headed wide by Laporte, who was up there near the penalty spot. Got the side of his head to it, but it bounced wide and behind for a goal kick. So 6:06 to follow the Leeds Aston Villa commentary. Monday Night Club tomorrow night. We've got Champions League commentaries for you on Tuesday and Wednesday night. The only place that you'll hear Liverpool Rangers live from Anfield, and then on Wednesday night Chelsea against the Italian champions AC Milan live from Stamford Bridge. The only place you'll hear both of those matches on Tuesday and Wednesday evenings, as United play the ball out from the back. Casemiro, here's Dalot now working it to the right hand side, and Anthony gets it down. United are after a third goal here. Anthony goes for goal with his right foot from the angle, and that was a weak one straight at Ederson.
Ake does really well there. Doesn't let him come in onto his left foot. Shows him the line. Brilliant bit of defending. You can see that he's done his homework on him. The coaches will probably said show him onto his right foot. Not half as good as his left.
And City now playing it out from the back, where Alvarez gets there and plays it to the edge of the penalty area. So City, with 4 minutes left to play, they could be the first team to score 7 goals in a match in the Manchester derby. As Casemiro has a shot from 25 yards, but there was absolutely no belief in that. He just wafted it goalwards, and it was probably 8 or 10 yards wide.
He still looks frustrated, doesn't he, Guardiola?
So Manchester City take this goal kick. He's never happy.
No, he's never happy.
He's a funny one, to interview. You never quite know when you put a microphone in front of him. They could have. They 6-2. When Gary Flintoff goes to interview him today, he could be. You could think he'd lost 6-2.
Yeah.
And then other times they lose games, and he can't talk enough.
He looks like that on the sideline, though, doesn't he? Sometimes he looks like that. He's really disappointed. He's frustrated. He's going to be frustrated at times.
Yeah. He'd be telling Gary they shouldn't have conceded 2 goals.
Yeah.
That's what he'll be saying. So you'll hear him live at some point this afternoon. If it's before the commentary, the Leeds Aston Villa commentary match. City with Laporte. This is good for them as well to have Laporte back in contention with all of these matches coming up.
Like we said earlier about the centre-halves that they've got now. 5 top centre-halves.
United with it inside their own half goes back to Lindelof. But again, it's opened up a world of problems again for Manchester United, this scoreline. There's a long ball's played over the top for Martial, who was in an offside position. So it's, I think Michael Oliver will say, just carry on, play on, because the ball was played back to Ederson. So gives City the advantage. 6-2 the scoreline. So yes, there'll be call-outs, Manchester United call-out to Robbie and Chris a little later on, going over the old hoary problems that Manchester United have and why it is that United, having spent over £200 million this summer on transfer fees, appear to be no closer to challenging Manchester City.
No, they don't. Well, when you buy Casemiro, it's like a panic buy, isn't it? Because they went after so many other midfielders in the first place, and then they come up with Casemiro.
As Casemiro hits a shot from probably 30 yards that Ederson has to dive to his left to keep out. Anthony then with the shot, ball's blocked across up in the air. City trying to clear it away, and Manchester United take up possession again. Dalot in field. Here is Casemiro, who goes back towards the halfway line, and we're hearing news, some football news coming into us that I will give you in a moment. But Manchester United, Fernandes playing the ball towards the edge of the box. Martial's challenged. It's a free kick right on the edge of the penalty area to Manchester United. So the news is that it is being widely reported that Wolves have sacked Bruno Lage as manager, and that was doing the rounds, wasn't it, last night? That in the light of, well, the run this season, but also back into last season, that it would lead to Bruno Lage leaving the club.
Nothing surprised you in this game, John, with managers leaving, managers getting sacked.
And that challenge was just inside the penalty area, and it is a penalty to Manchester United. Martial has got the ball, so Manchester United now with a chance to reduce it to 6-3. But this is not papering over what's happened here today. However, Martial against Ederson in the 90th minute. Here comes Martial, high into the net, an excellent penalty. Ederson went the right way to his left, but it was high above him into the top corner, into the roof of the net. Martial scores twice on his comeback, and now it's Manchester City 6, Manchester United 3.
Yeah, great penalty. Great penalty. Top corner, you put 2 goalkeepers in, they're not saving it. But look at Guardiola, he's fuming. He looks absolutely fuming, Pep Guardiola. He looks seething. The goals have conceded in this second half. He will not be happy.
So 6-3, a 9-goal thriller. But that's not really been the way of it, has it?
It's been Manchester City dominance. Absolutely dominated the game.
4-0 at half-time became 4-1, which became 5-1 and 6-1, which has become 6-2 and 6-3. I mean, Manchester City have never been in any danger, but I suspect Guardiola, when that interview comes, will now have something to be less than happy about, conceding 3 goals in the way that they have. Just a clumsy challenge on Martial.
Yeah, but all 3 goals have been kind of like that, little individual errors.
Here's Dalot on the right-hand side, cutting in field. He's got Bruno Fernandes, not another one for Manchester United. Fernandes swings it in towards the back post, but that's beyond the run of Fred, and it's through for a goal kick. England's 39 for 1 after 4 overs against Pakistan in the T20 decider. That is available to listen to at the moment online. And I think we were going to get an update on Harlequins Northampton again from Sarah Orchard, weren't we?
Yes, half-time, Harlequins 21, Saints 10, 3 tries for Quins, 1 for the Saints though. Ludlam's score, it should have been far more. They've messed up plenty others. It's half-time, Harlequins 21, Saints 10.
So 2 minutes of added time, strangely. Bear in mind, we've had a quadruple substitution at one stage in the second half. Just 2 minutes of time added on. We've had those 2 minutes. So any moment now, the final whistle will go, which it does on this Manchester derby, which, even though the final scoreline is Manchester City 6, Manchester United 3, this was a dominant display by Manchester City, who were 4-0 up at half-time. It looked really as though it could be any score. In fact, it's 6-3.
It was an exceptional performance by Manchester City. Man United weren't at the races in the first half, that is for certain. But some of the performances by the Manchester City players, Haaland, Foden, Grealish, De Bruyne, were absolutely unplayable. It was a special performance in that first half. Man United didn't help themselves at all. But Erling Haaland, that's all I'm going to leave you with, John. Erling Haaland.
Well, you can't leave Foden out. A hat-trick for him as well, so he's doubled his goals total for Manchester City this season. He's got 6. But there's no doubt Haaland is the headline act, scoring in an 8th consecutive match for Manchester City. 15 goals in 8 matches now. In total, 17 in all competitions, 14 in the Premier League. Manchester City, Haaland, Foden, brilliant at times today. Manchester City's day, overwhelmingly in the derby match, even though the final score is City 6, United 3.